Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Gary, and today I am discussing what teams scare me at the World Cup. And that has already got me thinking about what teams I want us to face, but most importantly, about teams really that, you know what, they do scare me a little bit, and I wouldn't want to face them. Some of the teams in this video may surprise you as well, but if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and like, and make sure you comment as I go through this video. I'm only a small creator, so any support really does help. It's France. No. It's Spain. To be honest with you, it's both of those for starters. Both France and Spain, for a lot of people, will probably be the favourites for the World Cup. England, look, without a doubt, we're going to be in with a shout, and we should be classed as one of the favourites. But I'm talking from a perspective here where, fear is a very strong word. It's just that I don't want to face them early because these teams could knock England out in a knockout phase of a World Cup competition. Argentina, the holding champions, look, I'm English. I can't stand Argentina. If we draw them in a knockout round, every bone and inch of my body will want us to beat the Argies. And that's sort of a reason why I also don't want to face them, even if I believe deep down that England may have a better team or a better chance of winning. I don't believe that, by the way. I think it would be a very even match. But even if I did believe that, I don't want to face a team like Argentina because the joy, if we win, would be absolutely fantastic, but the pain I would be in if Argentina at any point knocked us out of this World Cup would be absolutely devastating. I think I've been through enough as an England fan, really. Brazil would be another team, obviously, but I think it's more pedigree than anything. I would honestly fancy England in a knockout game against Brazil at the moment. Doesn't mean that I don't think they could knock us out, but I would say England and Brazil is pretty good contest, really, but I would fancy us in that one. Germany as well. Historically, I go on a history with a lot of these things. England, any of these teams in a qualification campaign or even Nations League or whatever, wherever, anywhere else actually, outside of a World Cup, I would fancy England to beat them, but just in these sorts of tournaments, England just traditionally bottle it, and these teams don't. Now, England, Germany, over recent years, there's no doubt England have had more success over the past 10 years, that is. But I do think the Germans do have quite a tasty side at the minute, but having said that, would I fear them? Would they scare me? Probably not, actually. The Netherlands, who I think are a little bit of an underdog, but I would back England to beat them. Norway's another one that I feel like people are sleeping on. They dominated their European qualification campaign. I'm just throwing them in the hat with Haaland up front. It's looking at the hosts, though. The US, Mexico and Canada. I'll be honest with you, some of them do actually scare me. I really wouldn't want to face any of those teams at all on home soil. I don't like playing the host nations on home soil because it really does give them an advantage, and they're the sorts of games where the host nations historically have caused upsets, and as much as England are superior to each one of these teams, I really would like us to avoid all three of them in the knockout rounds, in particular the US, because I can't stand American fans. They'll go on about England and America's record as if they've got a good record against us. They haven't, by the way. We've drawn the last two competitive matches with them. The way they go on about it, though, is as if they've battered us 4-0 every single time. I think England don't do well traditionally with that noise surrounding the host. Mexico and probably the US, because I feel like their crowds will be very boisterous and quite hostile. So I just think it makes it a little bit messy, and I would like us to avoid playing any of those nations in particular. From an African perspective, it's a difficult one. I'll be honest with you, there isn't an African team I fear, and that's despite obviously Senegal rocking up only a few months back and let's be honest, battered us at the City Ground not too long ago, but it was a friendly. I do feel like when the chips are down, England are better than any African side out there. I do draw a little bit of confidence in the fact that when England last played Senegal in the World Cup and we won 3-0, I know there's other African teams other than Senegal, but at the time, Senegal were the African Cup of Nations and we just brushed them aside relatively easy. So, look, I don't think there's any African teams. I could be wrong, but there's none that I would actually fear. Same really with Asian sides. I feel like they're always going to probably be a tricky team, but I feel like over 90 minutes, we would have what it takes, really. The reality is I'm looking at this as an England fan, and an England fan who has consistently seen us fail at either recently, the final hurdle, or at the hurdle where we've faced what is currently classed as a top nation. I don't include Brazil and Germany in those areas at the moment. I think the three nations that truly are probably above England are Argentina, France and Spain. Portugal is another team I haven't mentioned with Cristiano Ronaldo there. I don't fear them as much as I think Portugal are a massive dark horse, and I think they could do incredibly well in in this tournament. I think they've got one of the strongest squads going there. I wouldn't fear them though, because my God, all I would be thinking about is I just want Ronaldo tears. I want Ronaldo tears. I want England to put the final nail in Ronaldo's World Cup coffin. And we've got a lot of baggage with the Portuguese, particularly when I was growing up. So I would actually welcome a game against them. We've got to beat these big teams at some point. So I'd rather draw Portugal, to be honest with you. I don't really like South American teams, and I've talked about this on the channel before, and it is a little bit because of their style of play, the way they play football. It's just cheat. Ethically, I don't agree with the way they play, and I feel it could be one of those games where we get stole of a place at a World Cup. So again, I don't necessarily fear them. If that South American team goes ahead in the game, the ball will only be in play then for about 5 minutes before someone's on the floor rolling around or whatever. I just can't be doing with them. The reality is, as an England fan, in my heart, I am going to back England in a major knockout game. My head is going to tell me that we're going to lose, because that is all I have ever known as an England fan. Spain, France, Germany and Argentina, I want to avoid until at least the final. I've spoken before about how I really do not want an England-Argentina final. As much as it's great for the neutrals, forget that. I've had experience losing 2 finals recently. I wouldn't want to lose one to them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below as England fans, or as any fans from those countries actually that are joining this video. Do you feel like I've missed your nation out? There's countries I've not spoken about. There's Belgium, there's Croatia, there's Italy if they get there, there's Uruguay, Colombia, Japan, Denmark. I'll be honest with you, all of those I've listed, I wouldn't really fear England facing them at all. In fact, I would invite that. I think England would be favourites against any single one of those teams. But let me know your thoughts wherever you're from in the comment section below. Again, if you've made it this far in the video and you've enjoyed the content, hit that subscribe button. So that's it. That's my take on England facing teams at the World Cup. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all on my next video.